Helldivers 2 turns out to be hella fun. It looks like the Xbox is here to stay and the 17-year-old taking over Counter-Strike. I'm Ash Dixon and this is GINX News. Last week we told you that the new shooter Helldivers 2 was hitting some pretty lofty heights on Steam despite it being a bit of a buggy mess. One of its biggest pulls is that it's a 4-player co-op game, so when players had to deal with network instability and matchmaking issues, yeah, they weren't too happy about it because, you know, both of those things are pretty important for the game. Well, it seems like the team at Arrowhead Studios have been busy, real busy, as game director Mikael Eriksson has confirmed that a hotfix patch for both PC and PS5 is now available. He said, "The most important thing to highlight is that we've made additional improvements to matchmaking. A full matchmaking solution is in the works, but will take a few more days to test and deploy." So while things aren't quite perfect, they're definitely on the right track. Since Friday, the game's Steam reviews have jumped from mixed to mostly positive, and it's now PlayStation's biggest Steam launch ever. It peaked at over 150,000 concurrent players on PC over the weekend, more than doubling God of War's previous record. And according to Arrowhead CEO Johan Pillerstedt, the game's selling way better than they could have ever anticipated. Replying to a post on X about it outselling Palworld, he said there's still a way to go, but it has sold over 1 million copies already, and that's just after 3 days on the market. Which just goes to show that while there will always be people who shit on games when things go wrong upon release, players are generally pretty forgiving if they can see that the devs are actively doing something about it. And it certainly helps when the game in question looks hella fun and something that you can play with 3 of your mates. I'm sure this won't be the last time we speak about Helldivers 2 on GINX News, but in the meantime, what do you think? If you've played the game, let us know how you're getting on. There's a whole comment section down there, so boy, you better go populate it. Xbox fans have been having a pretty rough time lately. Not only have they been deprived a selection of decent AAA games, but according to rumours, the ones they are getting are now going to be shared around with everyone else too. It's basically left everyone's Xboxes sitting there having a bigger existential crisis than Barbie in the Barbie movie. Well, what were you made for, Xbox Series X and S? To sell Game Pass subscriptions. That's what you were made for. Well, things went from bad to worse when Phil Spencer acknowledged the rumours and tweeted out the equivalent of "we need to talk," although he did accompany it with the move of saying that we won't talk about it until next week. And you can't leave us hanging like that, bro. My anxiety is in overdrive right now. Does this mean the end of Xbox? Well, the answer to that question seems to be no. While we're still waiting on this official business update, apparently Phil Spencer has now reassured employees that there's no plans to stop making consoles. And word on the street is all of these decisions are coming from higher ups at Microsoft as opposed to those working in the gaming division. So basically everyone is in the dark right now. But from that, it looks like the big news will be that Xbox is making its games multi-platform. Whether that's a short-term or a long-term change, well, we'll have to wait until later in the week. Nintendo's worst kept secret, the Switch 2 is more than likely to come out this year. The OG is almost 7 years old now and is starting to look seriously dated. I mean, no one wants 30-second loading screens when you go from one area to another in an open world game, nor do they want to see this when they play Mortal Kombat. Well, a prominent leaker has given us a pretty significant update, and before you ask, no, it's got nothing to do with the release date. According to Centro Leaks, who do tend to get things right, the Switch 2 is going to be backwards compatible for both physical and digital games, and that developers can enhance those games to make use of the added processing power. Yeah, that's right, not only will you be able to bust out your original cartridge of Tears of the Kingdom on the Switch 2, but it might even be better than the first time you played it. Now, I don't want to give them too much praise here, this is all pretty standard for your Xboxes and PlayStations, but let's be honest, Nintendo aren't a company that often gives its customers good news for free. In other news, Reuters are also reporting that the Switch 2 will be getting a custom Nvidia chip, so who knows, maybe the console won't look dated after like 6 months this time. Counter-Strike has a new wonder kid in the form of a 17-year-old Russian called Donk. Alongside Team Spirit, he tore it up at IEM Katowice over the weekend, and let's just say, the kid's spray control is out of this world. It was his first S-tier tournament, but clearly the pressure didn't get to him as he had some pretty insane stats. He closed out the finals with an absurd rating of 2.38, racking up a total of 26 kills on just 8 deaths, and he performed throughout the whole tournament, earning an all-time record rating for Katowice and the MVP title. That's quite the debut for this little dude. But then again, he's been playing Counter-Strike since he was 4, and once he's in game, he's a cold-blooded killer. The question now is, can he keep it up? Or, well, can his team keep up with him? And that's the show. It's looking to be another glorious week of gaming news, so make sure to subscribe. Check out the Matt edition of GINX News somewhere around here, and we'll see you tomorrow.